Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful princess named Adanna. Adanna was the only daughter of King Zulu. She was born into riches and she had everything she wanted on a platter of gold. However, only one thing was missing in her life. She had no husband nor suitor. This made King Zulu very unhappy. He became so worried to the point that it began to affect his health. He complained to his subjects whom came to visit him. I am perfectly fine. I just want my daughter to be happily married, but she thinks no one is good enough for her. Adanna, on the other hand, was undisturbed by her father's concern. She would say arrogantly, I want to marry the richest and the most handsome man in the whole land. I am the daughter of a king, and I cannot marry any less. Her high standard became notorious throughout the kingdom. Suitors would come from far and wide, drawn not only to her beauty, but also her royal status, hoping to win her heart. But Adanna rejected each one of them with countless criticisms and excuses. For some, their looks did not meet her high expectations. They were simply not handsome enough. For others, despite their wealth and power, they lacked other qualities she desired. Each rejection added to the king's concern. As King Zulu watched potential suitors depart, one after the other, his worry deepened. He pondered endlessly, searching for solutions to ensure his daughter's happiness. However, fate intervened one day as Adanna decided to take a walk through the market. As she was walking through the market square, she met a young, handsome man, Uchenna. Uchenna was captivated by her beauty. What does an angel seek in the market? He said to himself. He decided to approach her. What is your name, beautiful one? Surely beauty like yours does not deserve to experience anything close to poverty, he said. Adanna was amused by his words. No one has ever spoken to her in such manner. My name is Princess Adanna, she smiled and replied. What do you want from me? Uchenna told Adanna he liked her and he would love to be her friend. He pleaded with Adanna to come back the next day so he could see her, and Adanna agreed. As Adanna made her way back to the palace, her mind was consumed by the thoughts of the charming stranger she had met in the market. She kept thinking about everything he said to her. However, pride wouldn't let her, as she thought to herself, how could she entertain the idea of a relationship with someone who lacked the wealth and power befitting her status? She decided not to meet Uchenna again. Meanwhile, Uchenna returned to the spot where he had first met Adanna, hoping she would show up again. Day after day, he waited for her. As the days stretched into weeks and Adanna failed to appear, Uchenna started to lose hope. Eventually, he stopped coming to the spot and forget about her. One calm morning, Adanna dressed up, decided to go to the stream to have a bath. She was accompanied by her maids. They got to the stream and she took her clothes off. As she began to bath, an old woman came up to her, impressed by her beauty. My daughter, you look so pretty. How I wished you would marry my son, the old woman said to Adanna. Adanna was startled by the proposal. She angrily replied, God forbids me marry your son, you poor old woman. We do not belong to the same class, neither do I look wretched like you. Days passed, and Adanna became ill. She could not eat or drink. Her condition got so bad that she couldn't stand or walk. The king became so worried. It was later realized that the old woman she met at the river had placed a curse on her. The king ordered the palace guards to look for the old woman, but she was nowhere to be found. By the time she recovered from the illness, she had lost so much weight. She managed to get up from the bed and look at herself in the mirror. She could not believe her eyes. She had lost so much weight that she could see her bones. She became sad and depressed. Adanna kept staying indoors, hoping her condition would get better, but it never did. Weeks passed and it was time for the annual festival of our village. Everyone was thrilled and happy. Other neighboring villages were invited. The villagers could not wait to enjoy the delicious food that would be served during the festival. The air was filled with excitement as everyone prepared for the big day. Adanna, on the other hand, was not interested in the annual festival. She was so embarrassed by her looks. She found a spot behind her father's chair where she could watch without people seeing her. She had not wanted to attend, but her father persuaded her, emphasizing on the importance of participating in the annual festival. As the event began, a buzz of excitement filled the air. Various fun activities were performed, from dancing to games and music performances. Everyone found something to enjoy. As the annual festival was coming to an end, Adanna's eyes caught a familiar figure. It was Uchenna. Uchenna was dressed in royal attire, very different from the way he was dressed the first time they met. Overwhelmed with excitement, Adanna called out to him. But to her surprise, Uchenna seemed unable to recognize her, and before she could utter another word, someone called out to him. "My prince, may I talk to you for a second?" Adanna was shocked. She had no idea that just like her, Uchenna also came from a royal family. His father was the king of one of the neighboring villages. As Uchenna turned to acknowledge the caller, Adanna could not help but feel a surge of admiration mixed with sadness. Here was a man who chose to conceal his noble birth, opting to mingle with the common people in order to experience life beyond the confines of royal expectations. Uchenna turned to leave, and a sense of regret washed over Adanna. It was at that moment she realized she had let something precious slip through her fingers. With a heavy heart, she watched him disappear into the crowd. At the end of the day, Adanna didn't get anyone to marry her. She became content with her life as it was, realizing that true happiness does not always come from external sources like wealth and status, but within oneself. She devoted her time to charitable endeavors and found fulfillment in helping others. Moral of the story: Adanna's story is a reminder that placing excessive value on superficial qualities such as wealth and physical appearance can lead to regret. In a world clouded by materialistic pursuits and societal expectations, it is important to recognize inner qualities and character. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Kindly subscribe and do not forget to like and comment.